CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Good morning and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Giovanna Dierpick. Last week we spoke with Democratic lawmakers about the 2017 legislative session. And this week it's the Republicans' turn. We want to begin though with my one-on-one discussion with Governor Nathan Deal shortly before the legislative session began. Despite success boosting the state's finances and rainy day fund, Governor Nathan Deal is heading back to the state capitol with purpose.
We're going to focus, though, on the one area that I think still is our Achilles heel, and that is in the field of K through 12 education, chronically failing schools.
He didn't reveal any specifics, but called it a work in progress. What he did make clear is that there is an urgency to solve the problem.
That number of students in chronically failing schools has increased from 68,000, which we were talking about last fall, to about 89,000.
He says finding solutions for other causes for poor student performance, like substance abuse in the home, will be considered.
We have just recently issued an executive order so that the treatment for opioid overdose is now going to be available over the counter.
And now he wants to make that executive order permanent with legislation. But when it comes to the new task force to deal with the effects of the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, the governor says Georgia is actually ahead of the game compared to other states.
We did not establish a state exchange, so we do not have that problem on the state's back.
But he says there is a report being released this upcoming week on transportation that will be of particular interest to commuters.
The major projects that we are undertaking on our highway system that will improve not only commute times but also overall transportation accessibility.
And so Governor Deal kicks off the new legislative year with a full plate of problems and possible solutions. And joining me now is Republican State Senator Josh McCoon from Columbus. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to get to your religious freedom bill in the next segment. First, we want to talk about Governor Deal. Now, last session, he vetoed a couple of bills that the GOP actually wanted to pass. How do you think that's going to affect his relationship with the GOP this time around?
Well, I think as far as state lawmakers are concerned, they've enjoyed a good relationship with Governor Deal. I think that will continue as we enter the 2017 session. I think you will see us try again on some of those issues that there were vetoes on. But as far as the working relationship between the legislature and the governor, I think it remains quite good.
So you don't think there will be any retribution or payback, anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're going to continue to debate those issues where there are disagreements with the governor's office, and I think you'll see legislators try to advance those issues, whether it be campus carry, religious freedom, or other issues.
Now, the governor's agenda, he said at the forefront is going to be education. What did you think of his speech?
Oh, I couldn't agree more strongly with Governor Deal on education. I think he was right on Amendment 1. I campaigned hard in my district to see Amendment 1 pass. Obviously, we were disappointed, as I know the governor was, that it did not pass. But I'm glad he's not giving up. I'm glad he's not giving up on almost 100,000 kids around the state who are trapped in struggling schools. We need to do something to provide those children and their parents with relief. And I, for one, look forward to working with the governor on that.
Now, the governor said that he wants to focus on elementary school education. Democrats disagree as far as wraparound services. They want to focus on nutrition, poverty, healthcare issues like that. How do you think that they're going to be able to bridge that divide?
Well, I know in the school systems I represent, a lot of those wraparound services are already available. The governor mentioned in his State of the State, 70% of these failing schools are at the elementary level. So if you have children who are reaching the 3rd grade and they can't read at grade level, you can't expect them to sort of catch up in the middle and high school years. So I think the governor is right on target to say we need to focus on elementary education and we need to focus on these schools that are not getting the job done for the students.
So he said we need to focus on the elementary schools. However, it seems as if we don't have a lot of details. Where do you think the GOP is going to go with this in terms of what specifically we're going to do for these elementary school students?
Well, for me, I think that more robust school choice should be part of the solution, and empowering parents to make decisions. Arizona and a number of other states have offered education savings accounts to allow parents to make a decision about whether it's homeschooling, public schooling, or private schooling, to take the state dollars with them and to spend them on their child as they see fit. But I'm sure whatever comes out of the governor's office, whether it's a modified OSD, Opportunity School District type proposal, or some other way to give parents options, we've got to do something. Simply the status quo, continuing that, is not an option.
Now, Hope Scholarship, a lot of people are concerned about that. Parents, they say, I don't think it's going to be there for me, or I'm going to have to contribute more. The governor said that we have to protect the lottery because that's the main source. Where do you see the discussion regarding the Hope Scholarship going?
So I see it more as how we are distributing Hope funds rather than generating additional revenue. Right now, for traditional Hope Scholars, they get a percentage of tuition no matter what school they attend. I'm planning on bringing forward a proposal this session that would just average all 29 university system tuitions, and there'd be a cash grant. So if you want to go to UGA or Georgia Tech, you'd have to make up that difference. But if you're going to a regional public college or university, you'd be able to pay the tuition in full and have some money left over. So I think it's more about our stewardship of the existing funds rather than generating additional revenue.
Okay, Campus Carry. Now, Speaker Ralston indicated that he actually wants to expand on Second Amendment protections, and that could actually go beyond Campus Carry. Where do you think that that's going to go in our final seconds of this segment?
I think you'll definitely see another campus carry bill. I think you may see what's called constitutional carry, which is passed in 11 other states, which is sort of the gold standard from a gun rights perspective. But there's no question that debate's going to continue in 2017.
Okay, sounds good. And when Public Affairs on Peach returns, Senator McCoon's religious freedom bill, always a hot button issue. Stick around.